Welcome back to another episode of the Nightly News. I'm Anthony Zito. Let's get to it. This week, Furman announced that the university was given its second $25 million grant from the Duke Endowment. This grant will be used towards furthering the Furman Advantage, something that all students here are so familiar with. The goal is to give Furman students a pathway to success, unique opportunities, and experiences, which is the core focus of this grant, along with study away, student research, and internships.
Well, what this means is that we can continue to provide those unpaid internships, research with faculty, even study away. Once we're able to start study away, that these opportunities, they've actually expanded. Students have increased their expectations. So more students are taking advantage, and we certainly want each and every student to be able to find at least one experience that's going to be important for them.
Thank you to President Davis, and be on the lookout for Furman enhancing these already amazing programs. This weekend was the 6th annual Sleep When You Are Dead competition, a 24-hour pitch event where teams competed for cash prizes. I decided to take a look.
This event was strategically put in place to coerce students to come in there and tap into their superpower. What I believe their superpower is their creativity.
Students are divided up into teams of 4.
And so it's a lot of fun because we get people who are their friends, or they meet new people and they get exhausted and they stay up all night and they're acutely focused on some problem to solve, and it usually has a packaging component to it. And then they pitch it to a panelist of folks from different disciplines.
The winners get cash prizes and have great work to add to their portfolios. The prompt for this year's competition was to create an in-home entertainment experience based off a classic movie. Senior Molly Jennings and her team won the top prize of $1,000.
So we settled on Monty Python and the Holy Grail because we felt like there was a lot we could pull from that. So with our idea, we created this box that you can order online, and it includes drinks, snacks, and a few different other activities, including the box itself being one of the projectors that you can use with your phone. You can watch the movie and then take it a step further by playing the drinking game or making recipes in the future.
That looks like a fun box. This event happens every year, so maybe next year you can have a $1,000 idea too. Early next week, there are lots of CLP opportunities. On Tuesday, March 30th, there are 3 CLPs that evening. The first one is at 5 p.m. titled Tocqueville Lecture. This CLP will include a lecture from Reverend Eugene Rivers, where he will analyze the crisis of liberalism in the light of a prediction made by the philosopher Richard Rorty. Following that CLP, there are 2 at 6:30. The first is titled Food Security and Healthy Communities, and this is centered around the food justice movements that are emerging in response to food insecurity and economic pressures that prevent access to healthy, nutritious, and culturally appropriate foods. The other CLP is at 6:30 titled How Can Universities Educate Character? This CLP will feature a talk from Dr. Michael Lamb about how educating character should be a central aim of higher education, and how doing this can support the other moral, intellectual, and institutional purposes of universities. On Wednesday, March 31st, there's a CLP at 6:30 p.m. titled Amplify at Furman. This event will feature a talk and a Q&A with musician Devonte Hines, where he will talk about his life and career, as well as representation in the arts, specifically concerning those of the Black, Indigenous, and people of color community. Lastly, on Thursday, April 1st, there is a CLP about health masculinity and violence prevention. This CLP will address reasons to engage campus men as allies in the prevention of sexual assault, and why approaching sexual assault as a public health issue can encourage men and women to be engaged in finding a solution. World Speech Day takes place annually in March. The Communications Department celebrated it last Friday by hosting an event in the amphitheater where students were given the opportunity to come out and give a speech. Here's Nightly News reporter Hadley Robbins with the story.
People celebrate the power of speech, and it's our chance to listen to unexpected voices.
World Speech Day is a day to use our voices to amplify what we care about, what we feel is important, or to use this day to show the people the great creative work that we've done.
It takes a lot of courage for students to get up here and give a speech. So far today, we have had students read poems, speeches that they wrote on their own, speeches from movies, and later we will have a speech by Martin Luther King that was recently discovered.
Junior athlete Ellie Roser gave a speech from one of her favorite movies, The Blind Side.
This speech is about courage and honor, which Ellie thought would be really applicable to current times.
It's difficult to generate enthusiasm for anything right now. All of y'all are tired. So I was hoping, and I still hope, that this is a chance to do something in person with our bodies instead of being a little square on Zoom.
Thanks, Hadley. It seems like the event went well, despite COVID restrictions. For more Communication Studies Department events, follow their Instagram @ComFurman. In this week's Did You Know segment, we're highlighting a paladin with his own business and brand, Jaden Elkins. Jaden started his business during his senior year of high school with the encouragement of his parents, who have businesses themselves. With making and selling casual-type clothing, he gives back by donating spare clothes to local Goodwills in the area. The junior entrepreneur from North Carolina shares his inspiration.
I created Behold Brand because I wanted a clothing business that was unique and that stood out. I also enjoy creating new designs for the brand. I usually come up with new designs and ideas every couple of weeks.
You can check out Behold Brand on Instagram @BeholdBrand or the website www.beholdbrand.clothing. Here are this week's COVID numbers. 20% of students were tested, 369 in total. The testing resulted in 16 positives reported by the Earl Student Health Center, leaving us with a 4.34 positivity rate this week. We are still operating in the yellow phase, but hopefully with the vaccines being pumped out nationwide, we could be in the purple phase very soon. Speaking of vaccines, we just recently received news that the DHEC has announced that we are now in phase 1B, meaning students working on campus are now able to get their COVID-19 vaccine. Be sure to sign up online ASAP, as appointment slots are filling up quickly. Locations near campus that are offering the vaccine include CVS, Walmart, and Ingles. Happy International Women's Month. We decided to spotlight 2 local women-owned businesses. Jackie Faustin went downtown to see where you could shop local.
That's right. And did you know in 2019, according to American Express, women-owned businesses generated $1.9 trillion of the United States economy. Yet, they go last to be funded by investors. That's why I'm going to show you around some women-owned businesses right here in downtown Greenville.
Cotton Rouge started as a one-woman, full-service hair and makeup company. A former professional makeup artist from LA, Katie Cotton has a passion for empowering women through makeup, hair, and recently, photography.
Love empowering women. I love supporting other women. I'm definitely that person that wants to be a cheerleader for other women, help promote other women businesses.
What started as a one-woman show now has over 30 artists. Cotton Rouge has expanded exponentially, and their awards show their hard work well done. Female-owned businesses employ 9.4 million people, and the biggest takeaway from my research is realizing the importance of other women uplifting rather than competing. That is the motto of our next business too, The Booty Shop. The Booty Shop is a boutique fitness studio that recently opened in the heart of downtown Greenville. It's not just a workout gym, it's a community. Members are welcome to join in post-class mimosas, weekend gatherings, and monthly burlesque classes hosted by the studio. Best friends turned business partners, Erica James and Casey Brown, started the Booty Shop about 2 years ago. They saw the lack of women-only workout studios that empowered and grew women both inward and outward. The Booty Shop has been a wild success, and they are expected to begin franchising next January. But it hasn't always been easy for them. The first few times they tried to apply for a loan, they got rejected.
In a boardroom saying no and no and no and having doubt in us, that's something that I think we're both really proud of, that we were able to overcome that and bootstrap it from the beginning and make this place successful without their assistance.
Both Cotton Rouge and the Booty Shop empower women and have actually prospered this past year, even despite COVID-19. There are around 13 million women-owned businesses in the United States as of 2019. Go out and support them today and every day. I'm Jackie Faustin. Back to you, Anthony.
I'll be sure to check them out, but I already got my hair and makeup covered. Man, I really want to see some crazy highlights from last week's games. Cole, what you got for us today?
Thanks, Anthony. Ooh-wee, do we have a fantastic segment for you today. But before we get into our stories, let's look at some highlights from football and women's soccer. First up, we have football. Arnold drops back in a sack by Adrian Hope, and he pokes the ball out. Let's get another look. Hope taking Arnold's Hope away. You like that play on words right there? Oh, yeah. And they're on the ball. Chattanooga prepares the punt, but the Chat punter fumbles the snap, and Noah Henderson pounces on him. The punter must have had some Vaseline on his hands. Another Chattanooga quarterback comes in and throws a pick to the hard-hitting Braden Gilby. He gets a solid return. Ham Sisson drops back, doesn't see anyone open, and he scrambles out the pocket like eggs on Sunday. Boy, he got some wheels. Jeremiah Jackson makes a hit on the Chat quarterback, and he throws a pick to Luke Clark. Wow, freshmen making plays together. You love to see it. Despite all the plays made Saturday, the Dens fall short 18-20. On to women's soccer. Neva Gather nails a goal from far out. Sheesh. Oh my goodness. That girl just ate some grass. Ellie Laxer kicks it from the corner and it almost gets in the goal. Laxer beats off one defender and another to keep the ball. The Lady Paladins gave the fans a show and took their game against Sanford into overtime and ended the game with a 1-1 draw. With football season halfway over this unprecedented spring season, the Paladins have had many stars emerge. This week, we look at senior wide receiver and captain Ryan DeLuca.
Sanford 31, pocket collapses. Sisson throws into the end zone, passes caught, touchdown, Ryan DeLuca.
DeLuca is a senior wide receiver who has been making catches like these all season, and his stats are showing those gains. He's totaled 700 receiving yards and 9 touchdowns in his college career. But perhaps the most impressive thing, Ryan was a walk-on.
Freshman year, I come in, right? I'm a walk-on. Just trying to get as many reps as I can during practice, during camp, looking forward to that first college game. And, camp starts going along and I start getting some reps, I'm doing pretty well for myself, just trying to really work hard. First game comes around, I get some reps against Wofford. It was crazy just to be out there in college, there, people in the stands, and it's just really no feeling like the first game. And it ended up being, third game of the season. The guy in front of me, Thomas Gordon, who was a great player, he actually hurt his knee. So I was the next guy up. So, 3 games into my freshman year, I had to start 3 games. And it was definitely a lot onto my shoulders, but I had a lot of guys around me helping me out. And I think that really kind of matured me early, and that really helped me early on. And then going into sophomore year, kind of split time with another one of my friends, actually my roommate. And we had a great year. We were both, making plays and stuff like that. It was really fun to be able to kind of share that role with somebody. And then at the end of sophomore year, actually, after we won the SoCon Championship at Mercer, I ended up getting a scholarship, which was awesome, helped my family out, and, it really made me feel like I was part of the team, one of the guys, stuff like that. Not saying that you are as a walk-on, but really, makes you feel at home.
His position coach, Brian Bratton, works with the wide receivers, and he knows firsthand what Ryan can do.
It's amazing if you know the story, how far he's come, walked into our facility as a walk-on player, didn't know much about him, but quickly earned his spot. Started as a true freshman in some games and, quickly became one of the guys that we knew we could trust to know this offense, know exactly where he fit. But not only that, now he's turned into being a leader, one of our most productive players.
Ryan's productivity on the field showed tremendously in 2 games where he had over 100 yards receiving against VMI and Sanford.
Balls in the first half, and it's really easy to get down on yourself, but you got to stay in the game, keep your head in it, and be ready when your opportunity is called for. And, in the fourth quarter, our last drive, it was a 2-minute drive. We needed to drive the field in order to get some points on the board to try and win the game. It was 3rd and 14. We were backed up on, I think, our own 20. So it was looking pretty bleak at that point. It's a long distance. And I ended up running a dig on 3rd and 14. Hamp threw a great ball. There was great protection. And I ended up getting around for about 40 yards before getting out of bounds to try and stop the clock. And then the next week, we go to Sanford, and I ended up, and Hamp, calls a play, and I supposed to have a corner. They took away the corner, so, I figured I would convert it into a go, try and make the throw easier for Hamp. Well, when I turned my head, I saw he was rolling out because of pressure to the right. So I took off, tried to get into his vision, and he ended up seeing me, threw it in the corner of the end zone, and I had a touchdown. Those 2 games, having those back-to-back, pretty much, I think, 150 all-purpose in those 2 games themselves, I think was, a big confidence builder for me because, I haven't really had those types of games.
Ryan is a dynamic force for the Paladins, and look forward to watching him play in the season finale April 17th at home against Wofford. This past weekend, the football team honored their oldest members of the team on Senior Day. Senior Patrick Wells shared with us what Senior Day means to him.
Senior Day is special just because I think back to high school too. There's a lot of emphasis that gets placed on seniors, honestly, throughout your whole year, because playing college football by no means is easy, and sticking out the process and having faith that what you're doing means something to more than just you.
2 Paladins softball players are keeping it in the family, and boy, are they knocking it out of the park. Jaria Out has the inside scoop on the Fleming sisters, Christy and Amanda Fleming.
It's really fun. It's like having your teammate is like your sister and your best friend all in one. So it's just someone that I know I can always go to on the field or off the field, for help or just for support and just having fun.
It wasn't always planned that Chrissy would follow Amanda to college. In fact, they have never played on a team together before coming to college.
The first time we're on the same team, and when I found out she was coming here, I was super excited.
Chrissy followed Amanda throughout her childhood, but now they finally get to play on the same field together. This may be their first and only time playing as teammates, being that Chrissy is a freshman and Amanda is a senior. They are making the most of this 1 year and creating lifetime memories.
I was up to bat, and Chrissy was running on third base, and I think we were down or something, and it was one of her first games playing. And I remember I was like, I have got to score her right here. And I hit a ball into left field, and she scored. And I remember I was on first. I was so happy I got a hit, but I was like, I just scored my sister. This is so awesome. And I listened to the commentary afterwards, and it was like, oh, looks like Fleming scored Fleming. And I was like, yes. It was so amazing to hear, and I was so happy. And I can't wait to hear that again.
It appears the Fleming sisters are enjoying their time together as Paladins. Hopefully, they will continue to make good memories together while bringing success to the softball program. Now, to our scoreboard recap of last week's game. Football took a close loss to Chattanooga 20-18. Men's tennis started off strong, defeating the Citadel 6-1, and then fell to Wake Forest 7-0, and Clemson 5-2. Women's tennis won both of their matches last week, dominating Wofford and Clemson with scores 6-1 and 4-0. Volleyball lost to Wofford 0-3 last week, but then came back to beat them 3-2. Men's soccer upset UNCG in overtime to win 3-2 and beat Mercer 1-0 in double overtime. Women's soccer is still undefeated, beating Chattanooga 2-0 and tying in double overtime to Sanford 1-1. Women's lacrosse lost a close one to number 25 Elon 13-9. Softball played UNCW 3 times last week, defeating them twice 6-5 and 10-0, but falling to them once 10-2. Looking for a sporting event to attend? Here are this week's home games. On Friday, women's tennis takes on UNCG at 3 p.m. and men's golf begins their intercollegiate tournament on our home course, which continues through Sunday. On Saturday, March 27th, women's tennis hosts Davidson at 1 p.m. and men's soccer plays VMI at 7 p.m. for their senior night. On Sunday, volleyball takes on Mercer at 2 p.m. and golf wraps up their intercollegiate tournament. Ending the week, volleyball takes on Mercer again on Monday, March 29th at 6 p.m. Be sure to look out for emails from Furman Paladins to claim tickets to these upcoming games. Wow, the week is gone already. Que lastima. Well, join us next week for more high-flying sports. This is Cole Neely signing off. Back to you, Anthony.
Thanks, Cole. Hopefully you're able to catch the fun with FUSAB this Wednesday on the mall. FUSAB is at it again with their Wednesdays on the lawn. This week, a pop-up carnival surprised us all. Students enjoyed churros, carnival games, and good company. Some even walked away with prizes. Be on the lookout for future pop-up events hosted by FUSAB. Thanks for joining us this week for Nightly News. We will leave you tonight with scenes from our beautiful campus. Have a good week, everyone.